Welcome to GenXMedia, Unplugged and Unfiltered.
An Oregon man was convicted and sent to jail for collecting and using rainwater on his own property, sued by the state for theft. Rancher Gary Harrington built 3 large reservoirs on his own land to collect rainwater and snow melt. He claimed the water was primarily for fire protection reserves and for providing water to wildlife. But the state called it theft and prosecuted Gary. A municipal code stipulates that all water within city limits, including precipitation, is part of the public water supply. The city requested the court order the removal of his collection system and impose a fine. Despite Harrington's repeated appeals, arguing, "The water fell on my land, I'm not selling it. I'm simply using it on my own property." The court ultimately rejected his claims. Harrington was found guilty on multiple charges, including unlawful appropriation of state water resources. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined over $1,500. The incident sparked intense backlash. Residents said it was simply tyranny. If a person cannot own the rain that falls on their own land, what do they actually own?
Imagine living next to this and having to hear this constant ringing.
So Hari, we're at your front door.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look in the distance, and there it is.
There it is. It's right there in all its glory.
There it is, the Vantage Data Center, standing tall with its blue walls and massive generators right next to this Sterling, Virginia neighborhood.
What did you think when they first turned it on?
Well, we were told in the beginning that it's just they test the generators to make sure they're working in case of an emergency. That is what we were told in the beginning. And then as the year and the months have gone on,
They just never turned off?
They're just never turned off.
Hari says they told them the generators were just temporary, but that was more than a year ago. The massive data center was never hooked up to the power grid, so the generators are the only source of electricity.
You just hear this noise, it's just like, you just want to curse, you know, it's that bad.
Greg Pirio also lives right next door.
Our concern is property values. Unless we can mitigate this, and we're talking about lawyers with options of what we can do and all that, you know, we know that we're not going to get the values for our homes that we could have gotten before.
It's about more than money, it's quality of life. One neighbor here even put plexiglass up against the window to block the noise. And they have their own sound meters to monitor the noise.
This is a dashboard that some of my neighbors set up.
Virginia is the data center epicenter of the world. There are hundreds of them, consuming more than 25% of the state's power, driving up electric bills.
What would you say to people in other parts of the country where they hear, oh, a data center's considering coming?
Do everything in your power to try to stop it from being built in an area that has any residential properties within, 10 to 15 miles of it.
And the mattresses come in, by the way, Blake, there is one guy who put a mattress up over his window because the noise sometimes gets so loud. In terms of the data center here, they have said in the past that they're monitoring the noise. They don't believe that they've gone outside the norms or what's allowed within the county here, but obviously the neighbors would disagree.
Breaking news, did you guys hear about the other problem that data centers pose? Apart from the fact that, yes, they use a ton of water, they use a ton of electricity, they're going to be used to, what is the data center for? It's going to be for the implementation of AI everywhere and all the flock cameras and this whole thing about, being surveilled and whatnot. Those are just some of the issues. Here's a new issue that data centers cause that many people are shocked about. So while many people are complaining about the fact that if you live near a data center, you're going to be hearing a constant low frequency hum and broadband noise due to the massive cooling fans, air chillers, and on-site power generators. And while this does disrupt, your sleep quality, and this is what people are reporting, it's like annoying to be near these things, but that sound doesn't just affect humans. Turns out, low frequency hums and high decibel roars from power plants, this is not necessarily data centers, but they're going to make similar noises, stresses farm animals. It can actually disrupt milk production, breeding habits, and general animal welfare. And the infrasound effect is that it will travel basically through the ground. It says inaudible low frequency energy, vibrational energy travels easily through the ground and structures, creating an unsettling continuous rumble felt by animals and humans alike. But then this study by Cal Poly did a 12-year experiment, and they basically found that industrial compressors disrupt plant seedlings and production. So look, 75% fewer seedlings. Areas exposed to loud, continuous industrial noise had a 75% reduction in pinon pine seedlings compared to quiet sites, scaring off planters. The continuous noise did not directly hurt the plant tissue itself. Instead, it frightened away vital wildlife. Specifically, birds like the woodhouse scrub jay, which bury thousands of pine seeds, avoided the noisy areas entirely. So this could not just disrupt humans and animals, but also possibly plants. Again, this was about air compressors and industrial sounds, not necessarily data centers, but you can imagine they're both freaking loud. And that's crazy because I just found out stressed plants emit ultrasonic pops that we can't hear, but they can be caught by certain technologies, revealing a noisy cry for help, the loudest when they're dehydrated. So plants actually make noises. This plant I have here, it's not thirsty, but if it was, it would be crying right now in a weird frequency way. So let me know your thoughts. How come it's all about saving the climate, but all of a sudden we're loud and it's all chill and good to put up a bajillion data centers that use a bajillion gallons of water and use up a ton of energy?
By 2027, every new car in the US will be legally required to have what's called impaired driving prevention tech. We're talking AI surveillance inside your car, infrared cameras tracking your eyes, and sensors in the steering wheel checking your sweat for alcohol. If the AI decides you're buzzed, exhausted, or distracted, it can limit vehicle operation. That's a fancy way of saying it can lock you out and pull the car over autonomously. Safety advocates say it'll save 10,000 lives per year, but critics are calling it a digital kill switch and a massive privacy nightmare. Will we see the ability of police to just pull your car over remotely? Is this technology a step too far, or is this a good thing? Is this going to keep the roads safe? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
You don't drive a brand new vehicle? This message is for you. The car market is about to implode. We're about to see a COVID 2.0 in regards to the car market, but it's a little bit reversed because nobody wants a new vehicle. Nobody wants a subscription vehicle. Nobody wants to be monitored. Nobody wants their face scanned. And with all the new AI technology things that are coming to where your vehicle could be potentially disabled, it could leave you on the road. There's a lot of people that are fearing that and they don't want their lives invaded. So they're keeping their vehicles. Not only that, but they're not able to afford car payments anymore. With interest rates, with the price of vehicles, nobody wants a new car. And that's why new cars are so heavily discounted. If you have an older vehicle, 25, 10 years old, hang on to it, ride it till the wheels fall off or close to, because these dealers are going to be offering, and they are offering you top dollar paid for your vehicle. And when you do sell it, I wouldn't buy anything brand new with all this subscription technology. I would buy another used one. The market is about to get wild.
Here's everything that happened in America in the last 12 hours. A massive diplomatic crisis exploded overnight as Iran claimed to have closed the strategic Strait of Hormuz to retaliate against Israeli strikes in Lebanon, though the White House disputes the closure while markets remain jittery over the potential oil route blockade. Vice President J.D. Vance has touched down in Switzerland to lead emergency technical talks with Iranian officials, mediated by Pakistan, aimed at saving the fragile ceasefire deal and curbing Tehran's nuclear program before the 60-day negotiation window officially expires. President Trump announced that the newly renovated Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool must be drained for repairs after accusing vandals of using corrosive chemicals, though police only arrested a former Olympian who claimed he merely touched the peeling blue paint. Federal investigators have launched a probe into a horrific crash in Katy, Texas, where a Tesla Model 3, allegedly in self-driving mode, failed to navigate a turn and slammed into a house, killing a 76-year-old grandmother in her front room. A bizarre feud has erupted between allies after President Trump claimed Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni begged him for a G7 photo to boost her popularity, a charge Meloni sharply denied by stating that neither she nor Italy ever beg anyone. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass declared a local state of emergency to secure urgent resources for fighting a stubborn warehouse fire in Boyle Heights that has blanketed the city in toxic smoke and forced many residents to shelter inside their homes.